Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, we have the current polling aggregate pulled up on screen for the 2024 elections. I know we spent a lot of time talking about polls, both for the primary and the general election, and that's not entirely what this video is going to be about this time. However, it does play a role in shaping the argument that a lot of people on both sides have gone out there and said, and that is that Joe Biden, will he even be the nominee? Because we're seeing in all of these polls, this is not just like a few outliers, some right-wing internals, all of the polls, even the polls that had Democrats doing well in the 2022 midterms compared to some of the other polls, they show Donald Trump up big overall. Every single one of these polls has Donald Trump winning the popular vote except for two, and in those two polls, which are the outliers, one could argue that even if the popular vote was Biden plus 2 or Biden plus 4, Donald Trump could still win or would still win in the Electoral College, which really begs the question, will Joe Biden potentially drop out? Are they trying to replace Biden? Because they have to know deep down that Joe Biden is a disaster. His administration is a disaster. His approval rating is the lowest that it's really been for any president at this time in the presidency, going way, way back, decades upon decades. And then you look on the issues like the economy, foreign policy. You look at everything that people really care about, that people vote on. Biden's in the gutter by even more than he's in the gutter on overall. And it really shows why Donald Trump is in the lead. So the real question that we're going to analyze in this video, will Democrats try to replace him? Some are talking about it, but it doesn't really seem as of right now that there are any plans that are going anywhere. And as much as we like to talk about the Republican Party being incompetent, which is largely true, let's not pretend like the Democrats are giant world beaters either, because they're not. So we're going to dive into this, but first I have to tell you guys about our sponsor over at Patriot Gold Group. Our national debt is a real-world problem. Our government spends more on interest payments than it does funding the Pentagon. Biden wants to raise taxes on businesses and the wealthy, but use additional revenue only to fund new social welfare programs. We've gone from $6 trillion in debt to 34 in 20 years. There's a direct correlation to the national debt and price of gold. In 2010, our debt was $13 trillion. Gold was $1,000 an ounce. Now, our debt's $33 trillion and gold's $2,000 an ounce. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson warned that our greatest threat to national security isn't Russia or China, it's our national debt. So call the proud Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. Mention Red Eagle Politics, and you'll always get best-in-class service from Patriots protecting Patriots. Patriot Gold Group has the no-fee-for-life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver, and you may be eligible for it on qualifying rollovers. Call 888-857-8696 and get your free investor guide today, or visit the link in the description down below. Again, 888-857-8696. The polling aggregate showing it, not just in one poll, but all of them. Donald Trump, he's been indicted 4 times by this administration gone rogue, but it doesn't matter. He has a 2.3% popular vote lead. We see polls that show New York and California somewhat competitive. Doesn't mean Trump's going to win those states, but they could be closer, which means the popular vote probably does lean more Republican. On top of that, Donald Trump is that X-factor candidate for the white working class voters in the Rust Belt. His messaging now is more in line with his 2016 messaging regarding these issues that matter to these blue-collar workers than his 2020 messaging, where there was not really a main targeted audience. It was kind of more general. Now it's definitely more measured. He's going out there. He's talking about these issues that matter once again at a greater level than I think he really ever has. I think his Agenda 47 is probably the most comprehensive that we've seen. And his messaging arguably now is better than 2016 on many fronts, and it shows. And now you have the Republican establishment going out there attacking him. It kind of reinvigorated that fight in him, and maybe that's what was needed. I don't know, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter. Trump is up big in the polls. It means he's going to win the popular vote and the electoral college by quite a bit if the election was today. Now, a lot can change. Biden has a lot of people in his own party even that want to replace him because they know, even in Newsweek, we've seen how many articles in Newsweek about Biden being replaced over the past couple of months or so. We see a lot of it. Now, Biden's running. He has already filed the paperwork. He said he would run for re-election. He doesn't have a lot to run on. He has quite a bit to run from. And as a result, if he runs, very good chance he's just setting himself up to be the second coming of Jimmy Carter, unpopular Democrat elected president, elected very narrowly, and goes out there, just drops the ball in literally everything, and then loses by a decent margin 4 years later. As of right now, that's kind of the case. You're seeing Biden, the economy is not doing so well, all these conflicts overseas that people don't really approve of his approach to. And as a result, it seems like the Democrat coalition is just kind of collapsing on itself. You see Trump doing better with Hispanic voters. He's still increasing his margin among white working class voters. And even though it is true, like suburban women are moving away from Republicans still, it's not necessarily going to be enough at the rate that things are going. It's really not. You're looking at this. A lot of people are saying Biden should step down. This is a miscalculation. And people want to beat Trump on the left, but still it seems as if Biden's going to be the nominee. A lot of people have talked about Gavin Newsom because he is nationalizing himself. He's going out there. He's going to be debating Ron DeSantis, I think, in about a week or so. I don't know who's going to watch it, but nonetheless, Newsom has said he will not run for president. He is backing Joe Biden. He's putting his support behind Biden. And technically, you could say it's a tactical move that Newsom is employing, and maybe Biden will be the one to step down, and then Newsom will say, well, Biden's out, so now he's going to run. It's possible, but then he's still going to have to get through Kamala Harris and all these other people that are going to throw their hat in the ring. And time is running out. It really is. I mean, you look at it. How much time do we have before the filing deadlines in a lot of states? I mean, the filing deadlines for the primary in the first few states, they've all passed. You're not going to see anyone else enter this race. If they were going to give the nomination to somebody else, it would almost certainly have to be given to somebody in a non-primary setting, which Kamala Harris would not be super happy if they gave it to Gavin Newsom, and because she's like the VP already, if they do give it to somebody else, I really feel like she would be more likely to get it. But still, as long as Biden is alive and I guess healthy enough to not be in the hospital, Biden is going to be the Democrat nominee. He's going out there, he's acting all conceited, and he's like, read the polls, Jack. Well, I'm Jack, and I'm reading the polls, and they're not looking too good for Biden, but Biden's going to cherry pick one or two polls. He's going to run with it. Apparently, his ego is a lot bigger than some people may give him credit for, and as a result, he's just a giant buffoon out there. He's flailing. We know it. We see it every time we go to the grocery store, every time we see any news about any given conflict that's going on. It doesn't matter. Everybody can agree that Joe Biden has been an unmitigated disaster for this country. And it's at a point where even some of the people that said Trump could never win an election, like on the DeSantis side of the primary, their narrative is shifting to Trump won't get anything done as president if he were to win. So they're even acknowledging that Donald Trump has a real possibility of victory if he is the nominee. And we're looking at this, and yeah, we're a year out. A lot can change. We don't know how the trials are going to impact the election. I've said if Trump navigates it properly, there's a very good chance he could use it to mitigate any potential damages. And Trump has already been indicted. I think a lot of people have their mind up if he's guilty or not. Regardless if he actually gets convicted, we're going to have to cross that bridge when we get there, obviously. But as of right now, Trump is polling at 47.2%. That is higher than the total popular vote that he got in 2016 or 2020. So that's his floor. And even if he doesn't get all the undecideds, he still could get 48, 49. And that doesn't even take into account these third-party candidates who, by and large, are taking more votes away from Joe Biden than they're taking away from Donald Trump. He could pad his lead. He could have a massive, massive victory come 2024. We just have really yet to see. But I think Democrats know this. That's why you have Democrats panicking. I think some of them would like to replace Biden. You even have Dean Phillips in the race, who's not like this RFK Jr. style Democrat. He's not one of these more progressive Bernie-crats. He's somebody that's a neoliberal, definitely in the Biden camp of the party, and he's going out there running against Biden for the Democrat nomination. I don't really know how well he's going to do. Probably lose big time. He's way down in the polls. Doesn't really seem like he has a chance. But even then, it shows that there are people in Biden's wing of the party that are not really on board with Biden at least being the nominee, which is not good news for him. So obviously we have time between now and 2024, but there's a lot of panicking going on. And the Biden administration, who knows what they're going to try to do next? Are they going to try to relieve more student loan debt? Are they going to try to reopen any more possible emergency oil reserves to lower gas prices to mitigate these damages? Are they going to try to indict Trump for more inconsequential and not illegal things? Well, they might have to try that. Doesn't necessarily mean it's working, because right now it's not working. Biden is down there. He's polling consistently below Trump, and it seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse as the days go by. So that's kind of why a lot of people are trying to replace him or saying that he could be replaced. But as of right now, it's not looking like he will be. And if he is, it's going to have to be via convention, which means that whoever's going to be running for president is going to be starting their campaign in like July or August, or even if they technically start it sooner. Either way, it's not exactly going to be looking super good, and Democrats are going to still be in disarray down the stretch. None of them are even more electable than Biden at this rate, besides maybe the sociopath in Newsom. And even then, there's so many question marks and so many things that he could be attacked on within his record, to the point where it may not make a difference. Either way, it just feels like every day that goes by, Trump gets stronger, the Democrats get weaker, the Republican establishment, they're just like sitting there, kind of getting weaker slowly. We'll have to see what happens. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.